Alright, man, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Key coming at y'all boys with a brand new video. Now today, we got that brother Waster again. You know, he always come with the bangers. You know, we only react to bangers on this channel. We ain't reacting to none of that weak sauce, none of that weak stuff. You feel me? So, with that being said, man, we're gonna go ahead and get into this video. Make sure y'all boys like, comment, and subscribe. Let's check it out.
Hip-hop and the media have a difficult relationship to say the least. Although they often clash, rappers need these big platforms to promote their music, while the interviewers who thrive on the genre stars need them to appear on their shows to continue profiting from the culture. Caught in a love-hate dynamic, interviewers tend to be very opinionated when it comes to rappers, and they often express their feelings on not just their careers, but even how they move in their day-to-day lives. Sometimes they even make predictions, some of which are so accurate that it's almost painful to hear. But for every time they're right, there are others when rappers manage to make the interviewers look like they had no idea what they were talking about. On other occasions, the way their careers panned out completely contradicts what they had said about them in the past. My name is Luesta, and these are rappers who prove the media wrong. To start, let's take a look at one of the all-time generational clashes in hip-hop history. Of course, we're talking about Joe Budden's showdown with Lil Yachty. While Lil Yachty was preparing to release his debut album Teenage Emotions back in 2017, he decided to do what a rapper usually does, and went on a press run to promote it. However, when it came to his appearance on the newly popular debate show between Joe Budden and DJ Academics titled Everyday Struggle, Yachty had to deal with the old head Joe Budden berating him in his album the entire time.
Show. I don't know why Complex let them folks leave that building, but that was a terrible decision. It was terrible. They should have never did it.
Came up with that cover.
Go back. So you came up with this cover?
Yeah, I came up with that cover, and
nobody from the art department at the label came up with this cover.
No,
you went
actually,
to the label and said, "I want two gay dudes kissing. I want the white girl with the funny hair." That you went to the label and said you want all of that.
Actually, I didn't go to the label.
You called?
I didn't call the label. It has nothing to do with the label. We do it and then we give it to the label.
Throughout the interview, Joe critiqued Yachty in his approach to hip-hop, attempting to prove that he was the epitome of everything wrong with the genre that he deeply valued. From dissing legends like Tupac and Biggie, to being a pretty stereotypical rapper from the looks down to the content of his lyrics, one can argue that Budden had a valid point to make, but he may have taken it a bit too far, especially after he started criticizing everything from Yachty's attitude to his label deal.
I don't care about the business part. I care about how Yachty feels.
I'm telling you how I feel. I'm happy every day because life is moving in such a positive way. I can't get slowed down.
So maybe he has been media trained. This is a very media trained answer that I'm getting. Nobody is one thing forever. You cannot tell me, you would be lying to tell me that as a young man, how old are you?
19.
In this industry, in this music industry, in the music business, you are happy 24/7. That is a lie. That is bullshit, and I refuse to have somebody tell me bullshit. I want to have an honest conversation.
So when you come from a college dorm room with no money, and you ain't getting no play with no girls, you have no clothes, you have no car, and you come to having 3-4 cars, you got millions of dollars, $500,000 on your body just to wear, and any kind of clothes you want, any hoes you want, how could you be upset?
I don't think that's where your values lie. That's why. Is that sounding old guy mad still?
No, it sounds like you know you fucked up and you're trying to bring it back.
As someone who had his own issues with labels, which messed up his perception of major deals, Budden seemed to maintain the idea that Yachty was nothing but naive, and that if he wasn't careful, he would just be another rapper whose glory days of riding a wave would be a thing of the past.
Then tell me what you want from hip-hop.
I don't know. I mean,
you don't think that's a question you should answer at some point?
What do I want from hip-hop?
Or are you leaving all of this to QC to figure out?
I'm making music, bro. I'm just having fun. I'm saying my fans love it.
You're gonna have a problem with just having fun and fun.
What did you want from hip-hop?
You're gonna have a big problem with just.
So what do you want me to say? You want me to say?
I want you to be aware of your business. I want you to know whether you're in a 360 or not. I want you to appreciate the culture that changed your life and took you from college dorm rooms eating fucking oodles and noodles. I want you who's well-spoken and articulates himself well.
My nigga.
Oh God, that man.
At the time, people had mixed feelings about this debate, with many claiming that Joe's own bitterness was just clashing with Yachty's genuine optimism and happiness with where he was at.
I think this was definitely not an old head versus young head conversation. This was just an angry rapper versus one of these newer, I don't give a fuck, I'm carefree rapper conversations.
With Joe literally on the verge of tears at one point during this interview, people joked about how Budden was taking it a bit too serious, and how it seemed like he has some kind of vendetta against the young rapper. And while people like Lil Yachty's label boss, PRP Thomas, came to his defense, claiming how Lil Yachty made about $13 million in 16 months at the time, it didn't stop Joe from doubling down on the next episode.
I would like for Yachty, while he's having fun, to be business savvy as well.
He'll learn some stuff.
I agree. He's 19. He got time.
Following Budden's potentially violent interaction with the whole Migos crew at the BET Awards, his continued criticism of Yachty and the other members of his label, QC, led to a diss track from Quavo and Yachty with the track Ice Tray.
Ice tray on nigga flooded. Ice, ice, ice. Yeah. If a nigga hating, call him Joe.
Oh no, damn. I said the wrong.
The music video also featured a segment that parodied.
Crazy. I don't know why I thought the ad lib was Cookie. Oh my god.
The show.
Man, they not about the coaching. They making hundreds of thousands in shows, $1 million in endorsements. Look at their jury. Like, I ain't had jury like that.
But none of this really made Joe all that mad. In fact, it really did play a role on increasing the numbers of Everyday Struggle and, by association, the Joe Budden podcast. However, what probably does bother Joe a little is just how wrong he would prove to be about Lil Yachty himself. Despite a few setbacks, Yachty has worked hard to shake off the early perception that he was just another mumble rapper with no staying power or talent. Although tracks like Poland being incredibly successful in recent years caused further confusion, Yachty kept on his grind and is now a trusted advisor of Drake, to the point that he's even ghostwritten for the biggest star in the game, and was even name dropped in a diss by his enemy Kendrick Lamar. Later, he finally got the critical praise he sought on the experimental project that was 2023's Let's Start Here.
It's kind of no contest. I feel like Lil Yachty really did it on this one, genuinely. So I think a lot of the hype behind this LP genuinely is real.
Undoubtedly seen as the high point of his catalog, he's even succeeded where other artists have fallen short by stepping into other genres without it flopping, which is something that rappers like Kid Cudi, Trippie Redd, and Wayne all failed to do. Now officially at a point where his career has been more commercially successful than Joe Budden's for the better part of a decade, Lil Yachty has continued being him, and in doing so, proved that he never had to stop having fun, as Joe once implied. Even going on to start his very own podcast titled A Safe Place Podcast, which has had appearances from Kai Cenat, J. Cole, and Sexy Red, to name a few. But he's not the only rapper who proved an interviewer wrong by continuing to excel and become the artist they always wanted to be. In fact, when it came to Ebro and Lil Uzi, the old head had to literally walk back what he said a few years later. Similar to Yachty, Lil Uzi Vert was seen as an anomaly when he first came in the game. With his purple dreads, interest in high fashion, and an identity that transcends the typical hip-hop artist, the mainstream media didn't know how to handle this rapper who had already been a beloved figure among the younger generation for years.
Dude,
so when he started appearing on some of the...
pay attention to people like Young Thug, who else is doing it? Like, I don't know. We just gonna go off of Young Thug, bro. I knew Uzi was gonna be something, and I knew he was gonna last, bro. Now, I'm not gonna cap. That last tape he dropped, the Pink Love, Pink tape, whatever it was, I did not like it at all. I got one song on there that I listened to and liked, and it's not even downloaded. But he's still big, bro.
Biggest radio stations like Hot 97, some of the cultural gatekeepers gave him a rough time, but no more than Ebro Darden. Looking like he came in with an agenda from the minute Uzi sat down, Ebro made it clear that he did not like Uzi and what he represented. And when Uzi refused to rap over what he labeled as, quote, old man beats for him, he made a weird claim that all these years from now, all of this arrogance would come back to bite him.
I do not have to just act, I do not have to just turn. Got your girl on me, I feel like I'm making, I don't know, man. This is
I respect the
cool.
fact you fell off at the end.
Yeah. Put another beat on, shit.
Nah, because all I got is old man beats and you're not built for
Hey,
that.
listen, it's going to be a lot of young guys coming up here and they ain't going to want to rap on that. I'm trying to tell you, it's changing.
Yo, look.
It's changing.
I hope they change.
It's changing, bro.
I hope they change. But as I've seen with all you little young motherfuckers that think you nice.
Yeah.
He is pretty nice.
You nice.
Yeah, I'm good.
Y'all get to like 27, 28, and y'all niggas get to struggling, and y'all be trying to come back and find that sound.
I ain't gonna struggle, bro.
That's that self-confidence.
And guess what? I'ma be here.
Yeah.
But look, though,
it's gonna be totally different.
Even though he ain't overly pressing him, like you can kind of see that Uzi's taking a little bit more serious because he hasn't looked at these two at all. He looking straight at Ebro. Ebro looking down. He playing on his phone. Uzi like he really trying me low key.
Like I'm be all the way a rock star about it.
As everyone knows now, that take aged like milk. And Uzi has gone on to become one of the biggest artists of the modern era. The comments to the video are literally just filled with people claiming that Ebro was in the wrong. As from that day onwards, his career has been defined by nothing but #1 records and sold out shows. In the year 2023 alone, he was essentially a cultural savior when he scored the first hip-hop #1 album of the year that earned over 167,000 sales in its first week of dropping. Because of the absolute tear that Uzi has gone through in hip-hop, Ebro did post an apology of sorts, acting like he was only trying to encourage him. And as the clip from the interview constantly resurfaced and went viral numerous times for how wrong he was, it prompted Ebro to tweet this in 2020. "So glad I pressed Uzivert 4 years ago. He proved me wrong. Exactly what I love. Hope more artists do the same when I question your talent or skill."
That's the way. That's the way
most
to take
people,
an L.
this hasn't.
But really try to play it off like you didn't take a L. Like, bro, just be like, man, look, I pressed Uzi 4 years ago and he proved me wrong. Exactly what, like, that last part right here, bro, you did not have to put it in there. That's you just trying to damage control.
Been enough for him to escape being mocked for his poor decision. Nah, OG, you are hating. Crazy how you just tried to play off being a clown. Just take the L. A man who's seen nothing but success, he's now planning to bow out of the top after his next album.
Love is Rage 3 will be my last album. After Love is Rage 3, I guess I will go on another tour for Love is Rage 3. But after that, I want to try to live.
Not gonna happen.
In examples such as Uzi and Yachty, we see where the media has gotten things so
horrible. Your face, everybody knows your face. You're like, where are you gonna go? Like Paris? You gonna have to go somewhere like overseas or something. But you're not gonna be living no regular life. Like paparazzi gonna be everywhere on you.
Wrong when it comes to analyzing a younger artist's future. However, when Tekashi 6ix9ine and Charlamagne the God debated each other, the rapper would not only prove him wrong after the interview, but during it as well. Currently, Tekashi's heated battles with Charlamagne on The Breakfast Club are among the top 5 most viewed videos on the radio station's YouTube channel. From the first time they ever encountered one another, Tekashi and Charlamagne really didn't get off to the best start, with Tekashi being the brashiest artist on the scene, who was constantly telling everyone to test his gangsta with the backup from the 9 Trey Bloods. Charlamagne was never going to get along with Tekashi's disrespectful attitude and fake gangster image that he portrayed for publicity. And after Tekashi 6ix9ine and his crew were caught in a massive brawl at a Los Angeles airport, sparked by Tekashi calling out his haters who warned him not to come to Los Angeles, Charlamagne roasted him on Donkey of the Day.
Tekashi 6ix9ine, you think you trolling people, but actually you trolling yourself because you believe that you can't be touched. You believe that nothing can happen to you. Let me be the first to tell you, every person that has gotten touched in life probably thought they couldn't be touched. I saw on hotnewhiphop.com this morning, Tekashi 6ix9ine has another canceled show, this time in Pennsylvania. You do realize that's about to be the story of your life, right?
Shortly after, Tekashi agreed to do an interview on The Breakfast Club to chat with Charlamagne. And while everyone was waiting for Charlotte to absolutely sun Tekashi in front of millions of people, what happened on the show was completely different.
How'd you get the name Tekashi 6ix9ine? Let's start from there.
I don't want to start there. I want to start somewhere else.
You want to jump right into it?
I want to jump right into this shit.
Oh, let's go.
Get into the juicy shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
What you want to start with?
Start with whatever you want to start with.
Within minutes, Charlotte tried to make it clear that he was setting himself up for failure if he kept doing what he was doing.
I feel like I'm most hated, you know what I'm saying? Everyone wants to come for me. How many people came for me? A lot. Why? Because I'm the hottest artist. And nobody ever gonna take
You don't think telling people to suck your dick online got anything to do with it too?
Nah, I tell them to suck my dick every day.
A majority of the interview had to do with Charlotte basically trying to call Tekashi a hypocrite, with Tekashi doing anything he can to get his point across.
He said I'm contradicting myself. There's a difference between being gangster and being stupid. Listen to this, right? I let my nuts hang, right? But am I gonna go against 100 that want to get me or be the smarter person and be like, stupid, I'm not going to let you get the chance.
Only minutes into the interview, and Charlamagne was getting aggravated at Tekashi's arrogant and cocky behavior.
Anybody can get touched.
I'm just saying, like, yo, blood, it's not so hard to find me. It's not hard to find me. It's not hard. Yo, boy, it's not hard to find me.
Don't call me a boy, please.
It's not hard to find me. It's not hard to find me at all. If someone wanted to find me, they would have been found me.
Give it some time.
Nah, blood. Like, I feel like you're gonna be waiting a long time, blood.
When he realized it was really tough to get under Tekashi's skin, Charlotte decided to dig into his archive of comebacks and bring up an old case from 2015 where Tekashi was sued for essay of a minor. But somehow, even that didn't work.
Are you a registered?
Nah, I'm not. You could actually look it up. You got a computer right there.
At one point, even Tekashi pointed out that Charlotte failed to do what he was famous for doing.
I'll be trolling. You see how I get under his skin?
You're not under my skin.
I can see I'm under his skin. Like, everyone knows I'm under his skin.
You're not under my skin.
At every given moment, Tekashi was well prepared with a solid response for every allegation, critique, and threat that Charlotte made.
Charlamagne, how he moves, he probably thought that because of his track record, Tekashi was going to come in and be more tiptoey, but he came in and pressed him off the flap and he didn't back down. And that's one of the biggest things that you can just learn about life in general. Usually if somebody's coming at you with something, if you stand on your 10 about it and really don't budge too much, bro, you'll be good.
Not under my skin, but I just be concerned because you're a young man, you're making money. People like your music. I don't understand why you have to do all the other antics.
I don't do it, blood. I address situations. Like, name one situation I started.
I don't know if he started it.
Let me do what I'm doing, because obviously whatever I'm doing is working.
Nah, not when it comes to all that beef shit, man.
You don't got no Billboard records.
I got a nationally syndicated radio show. I got a New York Times best-selling book. I've had hit TV shows. I executive produce a lot of TV shows. I got movies coming out.
To be honest, if it wasn't for this, I would have never heard about you. Like, I'm telling you for a fact, this is going to be your most viewed.
You took your GED test yet?
Yeah, I took it and I passed it.
With Charlotte being the most ruthless host of any radio show ever, people were shocked at how well Tekashi handled himself during the interview.
It wasn't until I watched it a second and third time that I felt like, damn, Tekashi had control of this interview the entire time. So that told me that this kid is not as stupid as I maybe thought that he was at some point.
After all that went down, and everyone basically thought Charlamagne got clowned by Tekashi, it was no surprise that when 6ix9ine got locked up on RICO charges in relation to his ties to the 9 Trey, Charlotte was savoring every moment.
But I don't feel sorry for him making choices that landed him in the decision, in the position that he's currently in.
With 6ix9ine
failed to realize about this, and I'm not gonna cap, I don't even want to necessarily say that you got this one right. I feel like you got this one wrong. Everything Charlamagne said came to pass. He did get touched. He did get beat up in the bathroom at the gym. He did get locked up in the Dominican Republic. He did get locked up and then snitch on everybody that he was sitting right there saying blood with. Charlamagne won in the long run, and that's what he kept saying. He wasn't saying that you're going to fall off tomorrow or this or that, and he never really even said that. He said you heading for something that you're not going to be able to get yourself out of, and now he's a big artist, yes, but it's just like he can't do that in the United States. Like, I don't know.
Originally facing over 40 years in prison, Charlamagne didn't see any chance of Tekashi escaping a jail cell. In fact, he was so sure that he even made a bold gamble.
If Tekashi 6ix9ine beats this case, I'll sell. You don't have to ask me.
Shit. Oh my God. This is creepy.
With Tekashi turning federal witness, his time in jail was massively reduced, and by the time that it was the middle of 2020, he was a free man again. Always eager to troll his enemies, Tekashi caught wind of Charlamagne's previous prediction and asked him to pay up. And shortly after his return, he posted the clip on Instagram with the caption, "Ask Charlamagne the God, I'll let you explain this." Suddenly finding himself in a bizarre position where he was being asked if he was going to follow through, Charlamagne tried to shoot himself some bail on a technicality.
You said that if Tekashi beat his Fed case, you would go down on him.
Man, that's hyperbole. Like that was hyperbole. Like, yo, that's another one that just won't die. That was hyperbole. You know why that was hyperbole? Because I knew that there was no way in hell he was beating that case. And I'm glad you asked me about that, Vlad, because he did not beat his case. He cooperated with authorities.
He pled guilty.
He cooperated, and he got a sweet sentence. Key word, sentence.
That is true.
He did not beat his case.
Try as he might, this strange bet still hovers over Charlemagne's head to this day, with a lot of fans thinking that he still has to make amends for it.
48 laws of power, this, that, and the third. The more you talk, the more likely you are to say something foolish. And that is what happened to Charlemagne the God. When your job is to sit right here and talk, you're going to be wrong at some point. And when you are wrong, they're going to hold that over your head. Or when you say something crazy like this. Like, oh my God.
No straight man will ever joke like that. No wonder the Breakfast Club didn't invite him back. But one man who doesn't have any problem of that sort, because he did exactly what he pledged to, is Lil Durk. Following a clash with academics over his beef with NBA YoungBoy, he had no choice but to show improve. For years, Lil Durk and NBA YoungBoy have been engaged in a simmering battle between each other, sparked by the problems between their two proteges in King Von and Quando Rondo that would eventually lead to the O Block leader's death. The two would try and undermine each other whenever they got the chance. Then in 2023, when NBA YoungBoy decided to schedule the release of his album, Richest Op, for the same day as Durk's Almost Healed album. Speaking to academics on the Off the Record podcast, the often controversial media figure suggested that Durk was trying to use his feud with NBA YoungBoy solely to boost his numbers.
I don't think about it, man. Zero. I was shocked when I woke up to that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? It gotta be a fake page.
So you're not trying to use it for promo?
For what?
That's what people believe.
Why would I use you for promo when I know I'm out here?
Well, I guess that's.
Did I drop an album?
Well, you said you were dropping an album. That's why he dropped his album. He wants to compete.
Who bothering who?
Here's my opinion. No, that's my opinion. That's
you
my
can't keep talking your opinion, man. Who bothering who?
I think you both.
I don't think about that
for sales.
No, I don't. Man, I put this on all my kids. We doing the aha, all that shit. That's what's cool. That was what we were doing. Right now, I don't need that little boy.
As an extra shot in his enemy's direction, Durk said that he knew that YB was playing fair because of how subpar his sales were.
Do you know who be paying for that number? Like paying for like sales and shit. You know who, but
YoungBoy do not do pay for numbers.
Nah. Oh, you can tell. But I'm saying. Now listen, but I never in my life paid for streams. I never in my life paid for sales. My shit built organically.
In the end, the May 12th deadline arrived, and only NBA YoungBoy dropped his album. This didn't help Lil Durk's case of not using the beef, as his decision to move the original release date makes it seem like he was afraid of being outsold. Immediately, YoungBoy saw this as a clear-cut sign of defeat.
Bitch ass nigga, you push back, you better not ever try it again. Don't play with me.
Now that was a
show him my watch, mama.
But while Durk maintained that his project was delayed because of an issue with a feature clearance, the numbers didn't lie when it was all said and done. After maintaining that he would outsell YoungBoy to act, that's exactly what he did, as where Richest Op sold 51K, Almost Healed moved 120. A showdown that seemed to basically dilute the whole beef. YoungBoy has since refuted that they were even in any real conflict at all.
LG, man, I talk to Durk like every 2-3 nights, man. He focused on $1 billion right now. You let them, get him to let me out this house. I hit that stage for you. How you want me to come? Every chain on or just one chain?
While YoungBoy seemed to back down when he revealed that his claims to outsell Durk were unfeasible, one man that never had to do that following a confrontation with Charlemagne was Kanye West. For a long time, Kanye has been determined to lower prices for his fashion brand, a topic that he discussed as
Kanye is everything he say comes to pass. Like, you could say whatever you want to say. Yes, he do be crazy sometimes. He be doing some weird things, but it's weird to us because we don't understand the vision and we don't understand what he's doing it for. Whole time y'all like, okay, why would you buy a Super Bowl ad and film it on the iPhone? But whole time you made 20 million off an ad that you spent 7 million on, and you didn't have to do no production, no nothing. You went around your office and you had a sale and you made 20 million. You tripled what you invested. Actually, not even tripled. You quadrupled what you invested, and everybody still want to call you crazy. In one day.
early as 2016, Ye's claims that he would make it happen whenever it became possible eventually led to Charlemagne calling him out during a rare trip to the Breakfast Club.
I want to make affordable, and I will make affordable.
You sold $150 t-shirts, Ye.
I didn't price the t-shirt. That's what I'm trying to say. I was just trying to design. I did not price the t-shirt. I did not price the Yeezys. I did not price the Louis Vuitton. But on my next ventures, I will be pricing them. And y'all can say, this is what we want. We want you to make, music to you, Ron Ozzy age. You can't marginalize me. You can't tell me what creativity I'm supposed to do on this earth. You can't control me.
In a lot of ways, the way that Yeezy's range was sold is no surprise. Adidas didn't want to flood the market because it ensured that they would have to be sought after and they would keep the price point high. As a result of the clothing line's popularity, Yeezy became a billionaire. And with other moves in the fashion world that would never come to pass, he looks set to only extend his net worth even more. But as we know by now, the Adidas deal eroded in the face of Ye's anti-Semitic comments. Following a letter from WME CEO Ariel Emanuel, which calls for a boycott of all things Ye, Kanye posted the following letter, which proved that he saw the loss of the fortune as an opportunity. In another interview, he doubled down, saying that it had changed his perspective.
The first year where I managed to keep my account above 100 million until I got hit with $27 million of taxes last week. Then my payroll got cut by Adidas immediately, which was against the contract. And then I flew 2 members of Cohen Resnick in last night, and they exposed the extra 40 million that they had been hiding from me of bills. What I'm saying is I'm being honest to you guys. I've been humble and I have no reason to lie. My family was taken away from me. My reputation has been smeared.
Suddenly given his independence, this has meant that Ye has been able to make good on the claims that he had made. Meanwhile, he took the most low-budget Super Bowl ad ever to let the world know what products were available.
Hey y'all, this Ye, and this is my commercial. And since we spent all the money on the commercial spot, we actually didn't spend any money on the actual commercial. But the idea is I want you to go to Yeezy.com, and I'm gonna write it at the bottom of the screen, and I got some shoes and that's it.
Ultimately, the gamble did pay off, as the day after he aired the commercial, he made $19.3 million in revenue in just 24 hours. But above all that, the low prices vindicated those claims he made to Charlemagne way back when. And his new merch was $20 everything. He walked the walk. Charlemagne was wrong in so many ways, and Ye was spitting nothing but truth.
I'm gonna only give Charlemagne one L for this. I'm not gonna give him an L for the Tekashi situation. In the long run, I feel like he won, and I feel like they're both winning in life overall. But this one, you gotta take your L. And people always gotta realize that just because something isn't right now, doesn't mean it can't be something later. Right now, I got 6,100 subscribers. 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, nobody knows how many subscribers that number will be. I know I got a goal for where I want to be by then. But what he got planned for me is going to be bigger than that. It's going to be greater than that. But I'll tell you one thing, we ain't stopping at 6,100. No matter how hard it get, we're going to keep going.
While this was an undeniable win for Ye in proving Charlemagne wrong, not every time that an MC contradicts what someone says is positive. Unfortunately, one man who knows this all too well is a man that West previously described as his favorite rapper in Lil Baby. During his appearance on Big Loon's It's Up There podcast, the ATL rapper, who'd been on a tear for years since the release of 2020's My Turn, received some flowers for his accomplishments.
Do you know you one of the biggest black men in the world? Sure. I understand that. I be telling my man all the time, like, there ain't a lot of black people in the world. You feel me? Like, well, ain't even gonna say the world like United States. Like, where we at, like, we like the least percent. People don't know that because we only like go where black people at, so we see a lot of black people. To me, you the hardest young. I stamped that.
But with the interview airing in October of 2022, it feels like from the moment it was released, Lil Baby has forfeited his status as one of the biggest stars in the genre. Now, I've done a major deep dive on Lil Baby's decline before, but here's a brief summary on how he's plummeted from grace ever since. First, there was the It's Only Me project, which was seen as a major disappointment from his fans and critics alike. And while it improved upon the sales from his previous release, something seemed strange when it came to his tour sales.
Lil Baby's on tour currently. They said Lil Baby's ticket, he's trying to do arenas about 10,000 to 15,000. You'd imagine it's Baby. Yeah. They say his tour is doing bad. They're like, you'll never see him post that his tour is sold out. It's not selling that much.
Soon, Ack would be proven correct when shows were canceled. alongside his relationship with billionaires like Michael Rubin and Robert Kraft, ruining his reputation as a street artist.
One of the things where it's like, this is how I see it, right? You got two options. If you're Baby, you got two options. You can fight to remain one of the hottest rappers, or you can elevate to a new level in life. Y'all seen I just reacted to his house tour. He good, bro. It's gonna get to a certain point where rap already paid the bills. What are you gonna be? What else are you gonna be? I mean, and I'm not gonna cap. It's Only Me was not it. It was what they called it. They said it's only mid. And a lot of the things that he's been doing as of recent, his last couple features have been going in, have been hard. But it was a long period of time where everybody thought Lil Baby was done.
We're seen being a little too touchy-touchy. Lil Baby's interview with Big Loon marked a shift in his public perception that he hasn't been able to repair ever since. And now, even the new tracks he's putting out just aren't hitting the same. Instead of admitting it, Lil Baby fights it, and he has since dissed Academics on multiple songs.
And this, Academics did take that L, Baby took that loss, and that's just because, like, we didn't see no more growth. We want you to be talking about business, mogul, real social and economic issues, but you still trying to talk about the trap and what you used to do. We done been listening to this since 2017, 2016. It's 2024. It's almost 10 years in, and you want to keep rapping about the same stuff with the same flow. Like, we get it. You rich. You got the new Cybertruck. You got this. You got that. But we want you to go on some Kendrick type vibe. We want you to go on some Nipsey type vibe. Like, give us game in your songs. Go on some I almost lost his name, Jay-Z type vibe. Like, you're gonna have to do more. You can't do the same thing and expect to grow. And I feel like that's what he did. My Turn was a hit. It was what everybody wanted from Baby. It was the best Baby you gonna get. Then you went and tried to replicate what you did 2 years later. Even though you was doing your thing and you hot, and My Turn was just so hot, you didn't really have to do nothing. I feel like you still should have dropped something in between that. I don't feel like you should have took that 2-year break, because if you would have followed up It's Only Me, if you would have had that hurry up and follow up My Turn the next year, it wouldn't have been as bad. It would have just been like, okay, he just gave us one of the craziest projects. This is probably a tune-up for his next run. That could have been the end of that young Baby getting your feet wet, trying to get in. You drop, like, and then you gone. Like, it could have been the second tune-up, because everybody's gonna have their Thriller. And if you don't know what I mean by that, I'm saying Michael Jackson released Thriller in like 1987 or 1983, one of those 2 years, somewhere in the 80s, right? And he never sold that amount and never reached that same popularity or that Jackson fever that he did have. And that's because when you make a project that is so monumental, it's hard to replicate. So you don't replicate it. That's my opinion, and that's what I picked up on the music industry, the music game, and what people do. You feel what I'm saying? Baby is who Baby is, and he has influence still to this day. People will get behind him, but he just got to deliver on his music. He just got to deliver. That's it. Stop doing all these features with people just because you cool with them, and really lock in the studio and create something that people's gonna love for years to come. People still bumping My Turn. My Turn is growing year by year. That's what Thriller did for Michael Jackson. It kept growing. It's always gonna grow. You got some real hits on that, but at the same time, you can't live off that one album forever. And that's where I'm gonna leave it at. So with that being said, y'all get in the comment box, y'all tell me how y'all feel. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Which one of these surprised y'all or was the most entertaining to y'all if you made it this far in the video? And I'm gonna like your comment, man. Just let me know. Get in the comment box and tell me. I'm gone.